Alright, I am making another video about gun control and violent crime and, when it comes to gun laws, gun control. My question for Democrats is, why can you not understand the truth? Okay? Why can't you understand that gun control laws do not work? Okay? If gun control laws worked, then when you tighten the gun control laws, gun violence and murders would go down. Okay? Okay, if that were true, if gun control laws worked, then violent crime, the statistics on violent crime, murders, gun violence, when you tighten the gun control laws and make it tougher to get one, if those statistics went down, then you would be right. Okay? You Democrats would be right about it. Okay? But what happens when you tighten the gun control laws? What happens? Murders go up, violent crime goes up, and gun violence goes up. Assaults go up, crime goes up in general. Okay? Almost every single time, folks. Okay? That's why you Democrats are wrong on that issue. It does the opposite effect that it should have if you were right. It does the exact opposite of what you would want it to do. So you're wrong. Okay? How are you going to prevent criminals if they supposedly you go from house to house taking everybody's guns, taking every gun away from everybody, every single person? How are you going to prevent criminals from getting guns on the black market or the dark web? How are you going to prevent that from happening? You aren't going to, folks. You're not going to be able to. So the only people you are taking them away from are law-abiding citizens who just want to be protected. Okay? There is no correlation between the number of guns that the population has and violent crime, gun violence, and murders, and there's no correlation at all. They have nothing to do with each other. Okay? So for you gun control advocates, you are wrong. Okay? If gun violence went down when you have gun control laws get tougher, you'd be right. You'd be absolutely right. And I would agree with you. I would support that. Okay? I would support that if you were right. If gun violence went down when you tighten the gun control laws and you made it harder for people to get guns, if gun violence and murders and all of, the shootings that people have, the number of people getting shot, if that went down when you tighten up the gun control laws, I would agree with you. I would totally agree with you. And I used to support gun control back when I was a little kid, before I found out the truth. Before I found out the truth about, the gun control laws and, when it comes to loosening gun control laws, how, when you loosened, you made it easier to get a gun, that's when gun violence went down. That's when murders went down, I mean, come on, think about this. Think about this for a change. Criminals don't want to get shot doing their job of, I'm having quotation marks because their job of being a criminal of crime, their job of committing crime. They don't want to get shot. They see somebody on the streets. They don't know if they're carrying or not. If they're walking along and they're in an area where gun control laws are very loose, that anyone can have one, they don't know. They look at me and go, oh, they don't know if I'm carrying or not. Since I live in Fargo, North Dakota, I'm probably not. I'm not carrying a concealed weapon because I don't have the money to buy one. And I live in a neighborhood where I don't need to. Okay? I live in a nice neighborhood in Fargo where I'm not gonna get robbed. I'm not gonna have somebody pull out a knife and, make me give give me all their money, pull out a knife and say, all right, give me your money or I'm going to kill you, or I'm going to cut you. I don't need to do that. I live in a nice enough neighborhood where that's not a problem, where that won't be a problem for me, But there are other places that are. There are other places that people have to be legitimately concerned about their safety. There's a lot of large cities like that, in which there are huge neighborhoods that are full. Well, I won't say full. There are a lot of neighborhoods that are dangerous to walk around at night, to walk around any time. Why? Because they're cheap, because it's cheap to live there, because poor people live there, because criminals also live there. Okay? So getting robbed is a very legitimate concern. A criminal pulls out a knife and tells you to give me all your money. It's like he's got the advantage. You pull out a gun, and guess who has the advantage? You do. He's going to turn tail and run. Once he sees that is a real gun, and once that he sees that you're holding a real gun, he's going to turn around and he is going to run for his life. Well, not his life, but you are going to scare the crap out of him, because he doesn't want, well, I shouldn't say he. I guess I'm being sexist for saying that criminal is probably a he. But anyway, they will turn and run. All you have to do is show them you have a gun. You show them, see, I've got a gun. I've got the advantage. You try cutting me, you're gonna get shot. He's it's not going to take him very long before he's going to go, I'm sorry, bye, see you later, and take off, go the opposite direction of you. He's going to run away from you as fast as possible. All you have to show him is that you have a real gun, and that you have the advantage, not him. That they don't have the advantage, you do. That's why when you loosen the gun control laws, gun violence, murders go down. Everything goes down. Every violent crime, murders, gun violence, they all go down when you loosen the gun control laws. Because the criminals don't know just by looking at you if you have a gun or not. Excuse me. They have no idea. They don't want to rob someone and get shot for their doing their job. They don't want to get shot and killed for doing their job. They want to live another day. They just want to survive. Okay? So, loosening the gun laws cause criminals to, mind their P's and Q's, to behave themselves. 2, it causes them to leave that area. When you when you loosen the gun control laws, they leave. They go somewhere else. They move somewhere else where the gun control laws aren't so tight. Where they are tight. I meant to say where they are tight. Criminals don't want to get shot doing their job. So they're going to leave where it is easy to get a gun. Excuse me. Three, if you're a criminal, either you're going to get arrested or you're going to get shot. Okay? You're either going to get arrested or you're going to try to rob the wrong person and you're going to get shot. So there's 4 reasons why loosening the gun control laws works and why tightening them doesn't work. Okay? Can you Democrats please understand that? And the thing with CNN, that was all a charade. That was all a complete charade. It was. They only wanted to hear people who were in favor of tighter gun control laws. That's all they cared about. They just wanted to hear about that. If you watched CNN and you believed every word they said, oh man. If you believed everything they said, you would also believe that I have oceanfront property in North Dakota for sale. Okay? You can let me know. You can put your comments and say, hey, I want some of that oceanfront property in North Dakota. If you're really that stupid, go ahead, let me know. Because you'd probably also believe everything CNN tells you. And so anyway, yeah, get a look at my new shirt. I only paid for $3. This whole t-shirt I bought for $3. That's it. Not bad, huh? But anyway, but why can't you people who support gun control understand that the exact opposite of what you want happens? The exact opposite. Okay? If you guys were right, if gun control laws caused crime to go down, I would support that. I would totally support that. I would agree with you. I would support you. I would be on your side of this issue. But no, the opposite happens. The exact opposite happens time after time after time in study after study after study. Okay? Yeah, but will you ever learn? Will you look up the statistics and see that, and if people want to commit mayhem, they're going to do something, they can use something other than guns to do that. Come on, Timothy McVeigh used fertilizer and diesel fuel to kill hundreds of people. Several other people have killed hundreds, if not thousands of people using other things other than guns. And just because a weapon looks dangerous, there's that doesn't mean it's as dangerous as you think it is. An AR-15 is still semi-automatic. It isn't automatic, you know. I mean, why is it that almost every time they've had a mass shooting, it's been somewhere where guns are not allowed? You know, what does that tell you? You know, guns are banned, and the only person, the high school in Florida, got the Parkland, Florida, that had the mass shooting last week. The only person had a gun, waited outside, and didn't confront the gunman. While students and teachers were dying, he said, you know, he was outside safe and sound where the shooting wasn't happening. You know. So you're going to trust the government? You're going to trust the government with your safety? You're going to trust the government with your safety when someone who's paid to protect the students and teachers at that high school was hiding, keeping where he would be safe, keeping his butt safe while students and teachers were dying inside the buildings. He was outside, you know. So you're going to trust the government. You're going to trust his employer to protect you. You know, cops can't be there the instant you need you're confronted by a criminal with a knife or a gun. You know, a cop isn't going to appear out of nowhere. You know, first you have to call 911. And then they have to be, the 911 has to call them to tell them to go to where you are. By the time that happens, you could be laying there dead, or shot or stabbed, But if you had a gun yourself, you're on equal ground. You're on equal ground with the criminal. Okay, you're on level ground with him. You tell him to leave you alone. If he doesn't, you're going to shoot him. 9 times out of 10, the criminal is going to turn tail and run. Thousands of crimes are prevented that way. Thousands of crimes and murders are prevented because someone had a gun and someone was said, "Hey, I've got a gun, and if you don't knock it out, if you don't leave, if you try to do something, I'm gonna use it." 9 times out of 10, the criminal's gonna run away. 1 out of 10, the criminal's gonna shoot you. Well, if you can shoot better than he can, better than they can, and you can shoot quicker than they can, you still might, even if he does shoot you, you still might be okay. Well, not A-okay, but you still might survive. But if you don't have a gun, the only way you're going to get out of that is by giving them your money and you still might get killed. You still might not make it. So if you have a gun, your chances of surviving are a lot better. I mean, that's just the fact. That's just the way it is. Most criminals, they would turn tail and run if they saw that you had a gun. They would turn around, they would run, they'd be like, "Hey, living another day is a lot better than getting shot," And you don't have to shoot them in the back. They're running away from you, you're like, okay, problem solved. You don't have to shoot them to prove a point. And most people wouldn't. Most people belong to the NRA People have guns, would put it away, and go problem solved. They call the cops, say a guy tried to rob me, I pulled out my gun, and he ran away. And you could give them the description of that guy, that person, and they'd be on the lookout for him. You know, and maybe he'd get caught under arrest and put in jail for attempted robbery instead of robbery and murder, which is what might happen if you don't have any weapons at all. So anyway, comment if you want to. So